Hi, yeah, I had a bit of trouble with my old Garrett Pro Pointer. I've pulled it apart. What the guys were saying is quite common, is that if you're not careful, you can break the switch that comes out of here. You've got the little rubber bung, and you've got a switch in there. That switch, if you don't turn it on, push it down, catches on here and breaks. I've pulled mine apart because it was doing what some people do, where you get it falsing off and just going beep 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 for no reason. Some people were saying, look, it can be caused by mineralised dirt on it, but I cleaned it with some baby wipes to the point that it started taking the paint off. So yeah, we've got that pretty clean. They say it's waterproof. There's been a few people saying that it's not that waterproof after a while, and this is probably about maybe a year and a half old. The rubber cap just pulls straight off. It just pops straight off, and it comes off just with your fingernail. You can pull it out. So maybe moisture, some people say, can get through there. Also through the light, it's only got a little rubber. There's a switch there that can break. It's only got a little foam, I suppose, a foam grommet or something like that around the LED. I'm quite lucky my board's not too bad. I've actually given it a bit of a clean with just a dry, very, very soft toothbrush, and got some dust and gunk off it. One thing they do say is when you pull it out, that I'll see if I can see it, the wires here, see those red, just down in there, those red wires and black wire. What I think my problem is, with my one sounding off, is there's a sort of a shellac or some sort of painted coating over those red wires. It's not actually covered by a sort of like a plastic material. It's like a painted on electrical resistance things. Sort of like what they use in transformers and stuff, electrical transformers. And apparently you have to keep a loop in it. You can use, one of the guys on the forums uses fishing line. He just ties it around there and just pulls it to keep that little U there, apparently, because those wires are quite stiff, and they can cause, they can just wrap around. But what I found, that those red wires, some of that red paint is coming off. Now that's an earth, and it's touching some of the electrical components on here. And I've noticed it doesn't false off when, in this sort of condition. I can't get it to false at all. But as soon as I push this board back in, oopsie, and those wires touch, it falses. So I'm going to stick this little piece of, I got this plastic bag, it's just a random piece of plastic, and I'm just going to try and stick the plastic bag across the top here, so it's going to lie between the board and the wires. Yeah, so I'll go and get all the little bits, and we'll see if we can pop it back together again. I was actually going to do a pull it apart type video, but I already ripped into it while the battery of this camera was charging. Yeah, so this is a little beast here. There seems to be a reset switch here too. I haven't actually pushed it yet, but yeah. But I'll just make sure when you are taking this board in and out, this switch here, this one's the one that breaks. See how that goes down a bit more there? Push it like that, just to keep it like that, and just be careful of that, because apparently they like to break. You can get more of those switches from J-Car, or maybe even I don't know if Home Depot would have them, but hopefully electric. Right. These are a couple of tools I have lying around. I'll use these to try and hook the wires to keep them in that little U thing, so they don't get all munted and mangled and everything. Apparently that's what happens. So I'm heeding what other people say on the forums, and we'll just chase it across the table. That's what we'll do with the sharp, curly, pointy thing. And then we'll just pull that out, and as we push it in. But I'll just put the plastic on it, and it's going to be fiddly as heck. So what I recommend doing is have a bit of time when you do this, because, and unlike myself, who was sort of like, right, I'm going out on a hunt now, let's fix my Pro Pointer. Not good. Anyway, so I'll see how fast I can get this thing back together again, and with the plastic, And another thing is sometimes when they sort of said, especially with the contacts here, which I've rebent, they sort of say sometimes a sponge, hello, that's the contact, this sponge here either comes loose, drops off, or gets squashed too much. So they suggest, you know, put a little bit of paper or cotton in there just to try and, you know, buff it up a bit. But you can see already that sponge has come drift and moved to the side. My one's actually, after a year and a half, it's actually quite flat, quite compressed. Anyway, let's get it going and see what we can do. About crude, I'm just getting this little piece of plastic, I'm just putting it on top of the board and just laying it under here. So these little red painted shellac or whatever type wires there are won't touch the components on the board, which in my case seems to be causing it to sound off. I did notice that there's a little scratches and breaks in that shellac, so that's probably what's touching it. And of course, over the time, you know, just general vibration, it might just scratch the shellac off or something. But so yeah, okay. Well, I'll just gently put it back in. The switch is pushed in. That little white little switch down here, that's pushed in. So I'm now going to try and feed that back in. Sorry, I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time. And while I'll pull, I'll just won't pull hard on these wires. Just keep a little bit of tension on these wires and just pull with this thing. Just to not yank, but just to keep it in that little bow shape. I think it's pretty good to go. But it's going to be fiddly putting it back in. And it's all taking away from my metal detecting time. I miss my bottle caps. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's the board seemed to have jumped off its track again. Yeah, I might have to pull it out. It's got really tight because I did a bit of a naughty thing. I used the back end of my pliers to like push it in a bit, so it's going to be a bit of a mish to get it out. But the light's not quite lining up. I can actually get the back. I just put the battery in just to test it. So the sponge is basically fallen out anyway, so I thought, well, the board's back more than it should, so we'll put hello puss we'll put cat hair in it, that's what we'll do. And hello cat. And anyway, what we'll do is we will basically just push this board back, or push it back and then try again. But I'll put the battery in just to see what it will do. And it seems to fire up, and what it was doing before is if you shake it, oh, that's an interesting effect on the camera, if you shake it, it doesn't sound off. And that's what I found out why this was just false sounding off. It was getting too close to the camera, and the camera was being metal, was setting it off. Now I've got to push this back. Now when you first pull that dome off, which you can just pick off with your fingernails, no glue, no nothing, it just pops straight off. Might be a bit of pain to put it back on, but yeah, just make sure when you push back, very important, push that switch to the on position, so it's when it's lowest, and then you can just squeeze it back. But I'm going to have to gently pull it with a small pair of pliers at the back here, because this thing here is only attached by glue and plastic moulding, so I'm going to have to pull that back and carefully without hopefully bending anything, because I think the board has come off its two little runners. It doesn't originally get into the runners very easily because the board's sort of a tapered shape. So, you know, it gets and then slightly gets out until suddenly it jams, like it has done right here, because we just need the board to go there. So I could try and force it in, but so like if I need to clean this later, it's going to be a super pain in the ass to get it out then. So it's already going to be quite tricky. So I'm basically just going to use a little L shape in the board there. I'm just going to use the screwdriver and just gently, you know, just try and push it back and pull with the pliers. This could take a while, but yeah, just a big thing, make sure that switch is in the on position. So if it's in the off position, it can catch and then just bust. So yeah, then you have to be soldering in a new switch. Anyway, yeah, we'll carry on and see what we can do. I got it back out again, just had that switch down because I was just giving a little tweak with the screwdriver, just very gently, just, you know, right down a little bit here, just, and it suddenly back, and yeah, I just had to push the switch down. It put a bit of pressure on it even though it was down. So yeah, it's a tricky thing because this, of course, this board's tapered and this unit's tapered, so getting it to line up perfectly. I got it to line up at the bottom, but the top had just skew whiffed out a bit. And of course I've got plastic in there too on the bottom to keep a little bit of insulation between, or to improve the insulation between those ground wires, those red painted ground wires that come from the glued coil up here. And it's just jamming a bit, so I might have to trim this plastic a little bit and just have another crack at it. But okay, well, let's have a go. Pretty much where we need it to be. I managed to get it back out, slipped it back in. This time I basically, when I was running it back in, it's very easy to get it on this runner. It's harder to get it on the runner on this side with the light. So basically I just put it down, and once it was in the top one, I just basically pushed the board down and just kept concentrating, keeping it in the runner with that goes alongside the light edge, and it just basically slid in. Right, so it's basically in position now. I just put in the little screw. When you do take it apart originally, there's a little screw in here you have to undo first, and and then basically this bit slides out, but don't rip it out, just pull it out gently, and you'll see what I mean by the U-shaped wires. Fishing wire on hindsight would have been probably better than using some of my little hook tools, but yeah. So, and this button, it's just a simple rubber grommet. As you see, it just pops in and pops out. You just stick your finger under there and it'll pop out. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I think the hardest part will be actually getting it back on, but because it's a piece of cake to get it off. Then this one single-handedly sort of going on, but yeah, you get the picture. Just mush it in there, and but you see, yeah, that grommet is providing your waterproofness. So yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that that'll keep the winter rains out totally. It's all right, but it's not like a super tight fit, and it's let some other guys down in the past. But yeah, but mine was basically those red earth wires touching the circuit board. So there we go, it's mushing in there. Anyway, I'll get back together again and screw this little screw back in there and put it back together again. But yeah, don't plan on going metal detecting after you've fixed this if you've only got a couple of hours. Yeah, so yeah, it's basically taken me maybe, because I'm just a noob, 40 minutes at it, hacking at it, but I was being careful and just take my time. I kept redoing this board several times because I wanted that plastic in there no matter what, and that was causing me the issues. So yeah, once I get this back on, I can shake it all around now and it won't fire off. Anyway, yeah, let's get it back together and see how it goes. Back together again. That rubber grommet's disturbingly easy to put back in when you've got two hands, and easy to take out. Just stick your fingernail under there. And in fact, we'll do it now. I'll just take it off to show you how easy it is. It's not glued in or anything. It's just stick your finger under there, just rip it up with your fingernail. It comes off. But so this is it now. I won't get it too close to the camera. So before it would false off when. Oh, okay. That's what it was doing. Well, maybe I have to look at that plastic again, because I think those earth wires are touching the. Oh no! Wait a minute. Table's metal. My bad. Gosh, I'm so paranoid, aren't I? Oh no, there it goes. There we go. Sometimes you can turn it off, turn it back on, it's okay. Okay, well, okay, I'll pull it apart again to see if we can find out. So those earthing wires, obviously that plastic's not quite insulating it or getting where it needs to be. I might try some epoxy or something like that, just to try and keep them from giving that short, but it's better than what it was. I thought, what the heck, I pulled it apart again, and I repositioned the plastic, and it actually, what had happened, it moved back, and as you could imagine, trying to push the board in, and it allowed the wires just to basically fold over, and they were just resting on top of the components. And of course there's little scratches and dings in the wires, and I thought, well, yeah. So I put this plastic down there. I might actually go back and try and put some insulation very, very carefully around the wires. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but that's what I like to do. Anyway, the plastic's been moved and in place and everything now, and I can just, and it's pretty solid, you know. I could not do that before without it playing up. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that now. So yeah, I look forward to going out and using it somewhere. Yeah, I couldn't go out today. I was too busy pulling apart my Pro Pointer. Oh well, good luck out there. Thanks for watching.